Smart Water presents Ooh, It's Just Me, Myself and I. Okay, so my garden. So remember my garden that was basically a forest with the grass was like the size of this chair, and there were probably bugs, but I was too scared to go and look for them. So yeah, I don't do bugs. And now we got rid of all of that forest, grew new grass, not weeds, and now my dad, I think it's called trimming the grass. I don't know if that's how you actually say it, but it's like trimming the grass every so often. But if, like 2 days ago, the grass was a bit longer, and I just love standing in it because it was like my feet were covered in grass. Well, now it's just like my toes, and that I didn't like that. I preferred it when it was like topped up with grass. Me and my mum didn't want him to cut the grass. We kept telling him not to, but he did at the end. So that was sad. Now we've lost one or two of the trees because they were like taking up too much space. And turn the camera around to the trees, please. Ooh, there's me, myself, and a bunch of trees. Two gone near that shed. There were two near that shed. I think you've seen them through my other videos. But the two near my shed have gone because I think one of them was huge and really thick, and it was taking up too much space, and one of them had to go, and the other one was just like blocking the view, and I really like that view, so we got rid of those two. And now my dad has also done the roof of the shed. Camera around, please. I'm like in charge of the camera when I'm not even holding it. But my dad did the tiles of the roof. He was standing inside the shed on this stool thing, and his head was popping through the roof, and he was just putting on those tiles. And I was like weirded out because you don't normally see people's heads come through the roof. And basically my mum says that we're gonna buy daisies, not daisies already grown, but like the seeds for the daisies, and we're gonna grow them because in my old school we used to make daisy chains in summer, and when they grew, because in summer they were the most, in winter there were like a few, but in summer they were the ones with pink petals, a few with pink petals, and those were really pretty. And we used to grab like a daisy, and like in the middle of that stem you like make a hole with your nail. You have to have big nails to do it. You like pinch it, and there was a hole, and then you get another daisy and like thread it through that hole, and you do that over and over again until you make a big necklace. And we used to like, in the field, we had a field, so in the field there were a bunch, and I mean a bunch of flowers, and then there were like mini forests with trees that we were allowed in. So there was this big one where we weren't allowed in because we had lessons there sometimes, and we weren't allowed there because you're not allowed there without supervision of an adult. And the field, there's only like 1 or 2 or 3 adults there at the time. And we used to collect flowers. There were some really pretty roses. There was lavender, dandelions, roses. I've said roses. And then there were just a bunch of flowers and stuff. I think I remember, there was this type of leaf that the boys used to chase us with and throw it to us because it used to stick on us, because it was one of those sticky leaves. And then the boys would chase everyone, and literally everyone in the school, and throw them, and then they'd get stuck to our clothes, because I don't know what the leaves are called, but they're all sticky and I just don't like them. And that would happen when we were collecting the flowers. And when we collected the flowers, we'd get a long leaf, like a really long one, and tie all the flowers together and do like a little bow with it. And then at the end of lunch, we used to give them to the teacher. And then the teacher had, at the end of the week, I'd say the teacher probably had like 1 million cups of water with flowers in. Probably that much. And oh, I remember some people used to get the daisies, make like a tiny bunch of daisies with, in my old school there used to be like a loom band craze, and then my friend used to get a loom band, tie the daisies together and like water them every day, and then put them in her tray overnight. And she used to, early in the morning, she used to water them and then put them in the tray, and she also watered them at the end of the day. And it was like weird and cool at the same time, because I've never seen anyone keep flowers in their tray. So that was amazing that I survived for a long time. It survived for probably 3 or 4 days. And when other people try it, they don't really water it that much. They water it like once every 2 days, and then on the 2nd or 3rd day it's already dead, or like the petals have flown off, or they just lost it. And when they used to tie it with the loom bands, sometimes they didn't tie it with loom bands. They'd actually make loom band bracelets, because you take 2 things and you make the loom bands like that. It hurts though sometimes with the smaller loom bands, but then when they make a mini bracelet like that big, they tie it around the flowers once or twice, and then it's like something pretty and something to secure it. So it was like a decoration and something that they needed to secure it. So that was really cool. And we used to do something else at school. We used to get rocks, like not big rocks. Turn the camera around, please. There are rocks over there. Over there, I don't know if you can see them. But you see that rock, basically, a wall thing. Above it, there are some types of rocks there. And on the floor as well. You can see some rocks on the floor. We used to grab them, and through the field, we'd sit down, and there was like trees in front of us, and we used to pretend that we were like camping. And we used to make a little hole in the ground, put some rocks all around it, and get petals that we found on the floor and leaves. And we used to like, the yellow thing inside the leaves, the nectar, we used to grab the nectar and like sprinkle it all over like we were cooking something. And then we used to grab everything in our hands and give it to everyone else, saying that it was their lunch. And it was like survival games, and it was so much fun, because then when we were lucky, the teacher would let us bring a water bottle to the field, and we'd pour a bit of water into the little hole and stir everything together with a big stick, and it was like a muddy kind of pudding. And it was just weird and fun at the same time, because I've never made a mud pie in my life, but some people have. And it's a bit like making a mud pie, but without actually getting your hands very dirty. It's more like with stick, instead of your own hands going, bleh, bleh. It's just gross with your hands. And then it's just so much fun. And I think that's all I'm going to say today. I think. Yeah, that's it. Bye. Sun time.